Hello, and welcome to Handled Ish Productivity for the Imperfect, a weekly podcast for those who want to elevate their productivity but are not looking for perfection. I'm your host, Betsy Hayes, and I am really happy you're here. This is episode 80, and I want to talk about have a frog day or have a frog hour. So, first of all, step back. 80 is a pretty big number, pretty cool number. So just want to take a moment and appreciate the 80th episode number. Okay, back to frogs. So the whole idea of having a frog day or a frog hour is to put aside time to do things that you're not super excited about, but you're doing them all at once, right? So you're batching them. So why do we call it a frog day, frog hour? And I think I've mentioned this on a previous podcast, but it's such a core concept for me. I want to talk about it in a little more detail. So there's a book. It's called Eat the Frog, and it is about the idea of doing the things that we don't want to do first, so then they are out of the way. And love the concept. Full disclosure, I haven't read the book, but I love the idea so much that I've been talking about, calling tasks that I don't want to do frogs for, I don't know, 15 years now. My kids talk about it. I even have my mom talking about it like that with the frogs. But this is a little bit different. It's not necessarily doing them first in your day, it's batching them to do them all at the same time. So, is there a way to put aside a chunk of time? It doesn't have to be a day. Like I said, it could be a frog hour, it could be a frog half day, right? Where you can batch all the things that you're just not really excited about doing all at once and just like gut it out, get it done, and then you can move on with your life. The reason this is useful is as follows. First of all, you know that the frog things are going to get done because you've set aside time to do it. You've batched them together. It kind of makes sense to just suck it up and do it all at once, right? So there's that. So you know it's going to happen. It's on the calendar. The weight of those tasks can get off of you because you know they're going to get done. The other wonderful thing is that most of the time, when we do our frog hour, frog half day, frog day, it takes less time than we anticipate because a lot of the weight attached to some of this stuff is, oh gosh, it's going to take a long time. I don't want to do it. And often it does not take nearly as much time as we thought it was going to. And so we actually might even get some time back by scheduling a frog day or a frog half day. So that's kind of nice. Not a guarantee, but in my experience, it's definitely the way I have encountered this when I put this into practice. And so today's challenge or this week's challenge is to think about, first of all, where could you schedule your frog hour, your frog half day, or your frog day? It is often good to have it be earlier in the day. So not only do you eat the frogs first, you also have the opportunity to benefit from frog hour being over, frog half day being over. Boom, boom. You don't have to worry about those yucky tasks that you've been putting off and don't want to do until the next, time that you schedule it. So I've been thinking about this a lot. I've had some things, kind of organizy work related things that aren't typically super fun, loose ends, those kind of things. And so I scheduled a couple frog half days recently and really really appreciated. First of all, it's just a whole lot more fun to call something a frog day than a stuff I really don't want to do day, right? So there's a little bit of lightness, a little humor. There's a really great frog emoji that you can put on your to-do list or on your calendar. Just the whole thing just makes it a little bit better, right? Might kind of be why they have that. What is the song? A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. It's kind of that whole same idea. That's why, oftentimes, people will encourage us to treat ourselves, after doing something that we weren't especially excited about doing. Nothing wrong with that either, as long as it fits within your other life goals, right? But I've had a couple of frog days. Actually, I have a frog hour scheduled for tomorrow. I have a bunch of those annoying phone calls, right? Like insurance related appointments, blah, 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 that you're like, oh gosh, I don't want to do it. But if you do like 4 or 5 of them at once, first of all, it's very satisfying. And then you don't have to worry about it, right? They're all done. You don't have to, do one a day, which I don't know about you, but if I've got those things, if I spread them out, it's, yeah, just not as much happiness in my life as I want. But if I put them all, chunk them all together, put them in a frog hour, get it done. Just so much better. So think about the idea of having a frog day, a frog half day, a frog hour, where you batch the stuff that you really don't want to do. Typically, it's like and like that's super helpful. Like I mentioned, tomorrow's frog hour for me is phone calls. It could be, a bunch of stuff you have to do on the computer, right? Like maybe you need to, fill out a warranty, on a website or order something, or, sometimes it can be a whole bunch of computer related tasks. You can bunch those together. It's also way more efficient from a time perspective, which obviously is a productivity aspect of all of this, in addition to getting it all done. So batching like with like is super helpful. And yeah, okay. Well, have fun with your frogs, and I will see you next time. And until then, have the best week ever. And remember, you are doing way better than you think you are. Trust me.